do we do when we feel that someone has wronged us? Do we try and ignore it passively? Do we plot our revenge? Or is there another way? Welcome to Mindfulness for Beginners. Hello my friend, I hope you're happy, hope you're peaceful. It's your old pal Sean, and thanks to everyone who's supporting the podcast on Patreon. The link is in the description. You get access to exclusive bonus episodes, guided meditations, and a series that I recorded on how to get the best night's sleep using meditation and mindfulness. Please do check out the Facebook group. We have over 1,000 members now, and lots of people are joining, which is great. There's a weekly thread each week asking for your ideas, so if you'd like me to do an episode on something important to you, please do let me know. This week, I wanted to talk about how to deal with having difficult feelings towards someone who's hurt you. Mindfulness is a very helpful framework for dealing with difficult feelings, which can, with training, be turned towards letting go of the anger we feel when we believe we've been wronged. And it's made a real difference to my peace, my mental health. It's helped me to let go of a great deal of suffering. But that's not my default setting. There's something deeply ingrained in the Irish psyche and culture around revenge. We don't deal well with someone screwing with us. We find it very difficult to turn the other cheek, unless that cheek is somehow holding a baseball bat. One of the great Irish traditions is not just holding a grudge, but actually nurturing a grudge. The act of winding yourself up about something to the point where the anger you feel towers over whatever the slight was that triggered it. Letting go is something that's slightly culturally alien to us. And I was very much like that too. I would hold on to the anger when I felt that I was wronged and dreamed of ways that I would get my own back, plotting the opportunities where they'll get their comeuppance. This is the obvious problem of leaving you feeling bitter and resentful as the perceived injustices from your life pile up around you and start to blind you to the reality that everyone is trying the best they can and the circumstances of their life has led them to the choices they make. So to begin to practice letting go was difficult. When I saw someone behave in a way that I thought was rude or disrespectful, my instinct was to give them a piece of my mind and sort them out. But instead, I decided to accept their behaviour as a manifestation of their suffering, smile and wish them well. When I started to do this, I thought a blood vessel was going to explode in my brain from the sheer effort it required, and I still feel this sometimes, the battle between Buddhist Sean, who feels nothing but love for all people, and old Sean, who sees humankind as a moral cesspit. Oh, old Sean, you scamp. But once I got accustomed to the practice, rather than it feeling like an aneurysm waiting to happen, it was actually a massive relief. No longer did I have to hold on to every difficult experience. I could just let them go. Rather than my troubles stacking up around me and blinding me, I could genuinely appreciate how wonderful people are, even if they're not always perfectly kind or respectful. Because, of course, I'm not always perfectly kind or respectful, as anyone who's ever met me will tell you. Wanting to share this experience with other people, I made it the theme of a Sangha evening I was running a few years ago, showing compassion and understanding for people we don't like. I decided to use an almost universally disliked figure in the UK, so I chose Donald Trump. He's said and done many hurtful things to the people around him, and his politics and principles are the absolute antithesis of what we believe in the Sangha. But if we wanted to follow the example and teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh, we needed to practice sending loving kindness to Trump in the same way that Thai did to other similar figures. This was not a massively popular suggestion in the Sangha. I could sense some uncomfortable shifting in seats, so I moved on. But as much of a boogeyman as Trump is to the type of people who practice mindfulness and meditation, if you scratch below the surface, you see the same pattern. Someone who was abused, someone who went through trauma and a life of experiences that led him to be the person he is today, with the views that he has. We almost don't want to see him as a human being. It's easier to see a kind of pantomime villain, but a villain is someone in a story that we're supposed to hate, and reality is never as simple or as black and white as a story. And it's the same with the people who've wronged us. It's easier for us to see them as bad people who have little or no redeeming qualities, but they are human beings with traumas and beliefs and fears and suffering. They've walked a long path that's led them to the choices they're currently making, and if we can try to see that, rather than the two-dimensional cartoon bad guy that our monkey brain wants to paint them as, we won't feel the same level of anger and resentment. So how can we train ourselves to let go of resentments when people wrong us? Well, the first step is to see someone's unkind behaviour as an opportunity to develop this part of your practice. A lot of the time when someone's acting out, it's stressful for us because we're caught in a bind between wanting to tell that person off and potentially making the situation worse, or just saying nothing at all and feeling angry at ourselves. The third way is using the situation as an opportunity to strengthen your practice. And we start to do that by accepting the situation. When you feel that anger rising in reaction to their behaviour, acknowledge the anger rather than fighting it, suppressing it, or being swept away by it. Smile to your anger, saying, "There you are, my old friend." Then, before opening your mouth or interacting with a person, choose to wish them well. May you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you see yourself through the eyes of understanding and compassion. And we're going to be doing that in the guided meditation. If your anger is still reaching for the surface, Thich Nhat Hanh recommends that you wait for 24 hours before having a conversation with them. Even if you feel that you can control your anger, it's too easy for things to slip out in an unskillful way. I would invite you to spend some of that 24 hours meditating on what it is from your past experience that this situation or their behaviour is tapping into. The conflict is in you, so only you can liberate yourself by understanding where the roots lie. And sometimes it's easier when we're setting the other person up as the pantomime villain to see how we're feeling as entirely originating with them. But it can also be the case that their behaviour triggers a trauma that we haven't fully dealt with. And it's also worth contemplating that happy, well-adjusted people tend not to act in an unkind way to other people. A lot of what drives poor behaviour is suffering and ignorance. People who behave violently tend to have grown up in a house where violence was the norm. And that's not to say that violence is okay, but it means that we don't have to hold on to resentment for other people's behaviours. When we're ready, we might choose to speak to that person, we might choose not to. We can tell them that this is important to you. You can tell them that how you felt in reaction to their behaviour, and you can ask for what you need from them. But it's helpful not to get attached to a specific outcome. They may be apologetic, they may ignore you, they may get angry. If we attach our happiness to them seeing the light and falling to their knees and begging for forgiveness, then we're setting ourselves up for more suffering. And we might question whether being around this person is something that we can do without harming our mental health. Thich Nhat Hanh recommended only being around people to the point where it's not damaging your peace. One of the ways that we can avoid building up resentments is to stay at arm's length if the behaviour is an ongoing problem. Wishing people peace, happiness and compassion might feel like it's letting people off the hook, but ultimately the person that we're protecting is ourselves. If we can learn to let go of our resentment rather than clinging on to it, we can free ourselves to take joy from the present moment. There's an old French proverb that says, "Revenge is a dish best served cold." Ty would probably say in response that revenge is a dish best not served at all. Have some vegetable lasagna instead. So let's sit together for a loving kindness metta meditation where we think of 5 groups of people and wish them well. We'll start with thinking of someone we love, And then we'll think of someone who is suffering at the moment. And I know that there's a few people in the Facebook Sangha who are suffering right now, so I'll be thinking of you. Then we're going to think about someone we have difficult feelings about, and then ourselves. And then we'll be directing our loving kindness to the world. So if you want to find a comfortable seating position for the guided meditation, I'm going to start with 3 sounds of the bell and the usual settling in introduction. I'm going to start, as we always do, by applying our beginner's mind to our posture. So I would invite you to imagine that you have a thread attached to the crown of your head, and it's gently pulling you upwards into an upright position, your spine like a stack of coins, your heart raised upwards and outwards, your hands comfortably in your lap, and just allowing a gentle smile to emerge on your face as we take a moment to enjoy the stability of our posture. And applying our beginner's mind to what we can sense in our body, noticing where you feel warm or cold. Noticing where you feel tense or relaxed. Becoming aware of the sensation of the clothes against your skin and the points of contact between your body and the chair and the floor. And turning our beginner's mind to our thoughts and feelings. And as we go through the guided meditation, just noticing each thought as it arises. And that might be an anxious thought about tomorrow. It could be a happy thought about today. Or a sad thought about yesterday. Just sitting with each thought for a moment. Allowing it to leave, and gently and without judgment, bringing your attention back to your breath. And finally, focusing your awareness on the breath. Noticing that column of air between your nose and your diaphragm. Noticing how the air feels cooler on the way in. Warmer on the way out. And we're going to start by bringing forward someone in our mind's eye that we care about, someone that we love. We're going to wish them well. Breathing in, may be happy, may be peaceful. Breathing out, may you see yourself through the eyes of understanding and compassion. Now allowing that person to step back in your mind and instead picturing someone you know who is suffering at the moment and wishing them well. Breathing in, may be happy, may be peaceful. Breathing out, may you see yourself through the eyes of understanding and compassion. And now picturing someone we have some difficult feelings towards. It may even be someone who's wronged us. And we're going to choose to wish them well. Breathing in, may be happy, may be peaceful. Breathing out, may you see yourself through the eyes of understanding and compassion. And now we're going to direct loving kindness to ourselves. So picturing yourself, breathing in, may I be happy, may I be peaceful. Breathing out, may I see myself through the eyes of understanding and compassion. And finally, we're going to wish everyone across the world well. Breathing in. May be happy, may be peaceful. Breathing out. May you see yourself through the eyes of understanding and compassion. And as we reach the end of the guided meditation, just taking a moment or two to notice any changes in your body, any areas of relaxation, any areas of discomfort or tension, and taking a moment to stretch those if you need to, maybe your back or your legs. Noticing any changes in your mind, and if you feel a sense of calm or peace, then I would invite you to carry that through the rest of your day. And finally, opening your eyes and returning your awareness to the room that you're in. And your mindfulness homework for this week is simply when you see behaviour from someone and you feel an angry reaction to that, then I would invite you to practice stopping, breathing, and see if you can wish them well. And may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may you see yourself through the eyes of understanding and compassion. Slán will ya? And I'll see you next time.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I